All right, back again, guys. We're at Kieran's fancy little spot here.
Good evening, good evening, good evening!
Untangling is friggin' mess.
Holy, I've been here for hours. Hate my life.
In this video, Kieran's gonna show you how he fillets a fish, and then if I ever catch another one, I'll show you how I fillet a fish.
So it's probably gonna get posted 3 years from now.
yeah, probably. But anyway, anybody who's new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you don't want to, then don't.
And follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, the Whitefish Ninja.
The Whitefish Ninja and the Whitefish
Wizard. Oh, Kieran here putting on his little gloves like a sooky baby glove.
I don't want my hands to smell like disgusting fish. So I'm a bit of a pretty boy.
Yeah.
And then, so this is my tool that I use. I use the old electric knife from 1985, just like my low rants.
Yeah. Game Boy edition.
Surprised it doesn't electrocute me when I use it. But no, I like to use an electric knife. I find it goes through those Y bones like really, really easily. So it makes it a lot faster for me. Especially because I just got these little wimpy girl wrists.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to watching because I've never seen a fish filleted with an electric knife. So it's new to me. We just do it with a normal knife that's bendy. A normal fillet knife.
I got one of those too. Yeah, I do use a fillet knife for some of the parts with it. Like going around the rib cage, I'll use this. But yeah, this for the primarily is like the best thing to use. Makes it like
is this a bendy
twice
knife,
as fast.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhat. And then this is our fish that we didn't catch. Mutter caught it.
Yeah.
We
Mutter's
suck.
fish.
Keep my nice counters clean. Oh, she's a slimy girl.
Still a little bit frozen, eh? It'll be
A little
alright.
bit. Yeah, I think it should be okay. So yeah, first thing that I generally do is I'll do the first cut right behind the head here. And I'll just go straight down until I hit the spine bone, whatever it is. So.
I found a couple times too, like if you try to go too close, you'll hit the cartilage in there, and then you just got to push it back.
Yeah, that's why you use an electric knife. It just goes through everything. Watch. There, when it stops, then you know you're at that spine bone thing. So I'm just gonna flip him around here, and then I'm gonna start by his tail. And I'm gonna follow that spine all the way along until I get to around where his rib cage is. Usually it's around there. So while you're doing this, just make sure you run the knife right along as close to that spine as you can. Maximize the meat. And so that's right there. You can see I'm just getting to that rib cage where the guts and stuff are. So now I'm just gonna follow along the top here and go along about halfway down. So it gets a little bit trickier with a regular fillet knife because this is when you start going through the Y bone.
You won't be able to hear it probably with the electric knife, will you?
Probably not, but we'll see. You can feel it as you go through them. And then I'm right at the rib cage here. So this is when I usually get my non-electric knife.
Well, don't hurt your wrist. Yeah. You can basically just follow along the rib cage as you go, and you can kind of feel it on the knife too.
Yeah, it helps if you sort of peel away the meat as you go, right? It makes it so you can see everything a little easier too.
And the first couple times too, like the first few times I did it, I just butchered it. But it kind of takes a few times to get the feel of what your knife is actually riding on, right? Especially when you're cutting through like the Y bones, you'll hear it flicking. Eventually you'll cut through the Y bone, but if you keep going, you'll end up on the ribs as well. This is probably awkward with this camera just here in your way.
I love it.
And some guys too, I guess you could chase like the meat that's on the stomach, but some people also say that is I don't know, I guess like where a lot of the impurities in the meat are.
Yeah, that's if you really want to be nitpicky with it and take a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, once you get pretty much the meat starts sort of thinning out here, then you know you've pretty much got most of it, and then you can just come in here and chop it all off. And then
Oh, my son.
that's what's done with the electric knife. Ew.
Oh, he burned through his shit pipe.
Oh, gross.
You can see too, there's still some blood because I didn't bleed it properly.
You're supposed to beat its brains out.
Beating its brains out doesn't bleed it properly.
Okay, now the tough part of the whitefish is these Y bones. They go basically all the way across here. You can feel my glove hitting it.
Well,
All
they
the way.
could hear it. I don't think they can feel it.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, you can hear it.
It's kind of like right on the ridge of the fillet, typically, is where it is.
And it goes on an angle too. It doesn't go straight down. It goes on an angle, sort of like following my knife.
Yeah, and that's kind of the hardest part of getting the Y bones out of them because they're not just straight. They usually end about here somewhere.
Yeah, you can see that's where it's ending right there.
I don't know if the camera will actually pick it up, but I'll try to get it really close.
There it is.
Yeah, and it just runs from basically the head to just before the tail is where it ends.
And it's up to you too. If you don't really mind the bone, then you could leave it and cook it like that if you really wanted to. Just like,
I'm sure some people do, but I did it the last couple times because I was lazy and I regretted it. Because the little bit of meat you lose to cut out the Y bone in this process is you probably lose more meat spitting bones out.
yeah, that's true actually. So I'm gonna follow this, and I'm gonna go.
Another thing too that I've learned, me and my dad have learned, is we used to always peel the fillet off of the skin and then cut out the Y bone. It's actually easier to do it if you leave it on the skin. At least we find it to be, because it's not so slippery then. The skin kind of helps keep it all together.
Okay, so that's one slice done. So you're basically going to cut on both sides of the Y bone. So I think that's...
It's all really by feel too. Like, if you're new to it, you kind of just have to try to chase that bone, and every time you feel your knife getting into it, just put it on a little bit bigger of an angle until you work yourself away from it, right?
Yeah, you can kind of ride it. And it's going to come with practice too. You can see that one.
If Mother was here, she'd say, "What do you got them gloves on for, sure? Some cute." Some cute with your gloves on. I'm just making fun. Kieran's actually smart. I don't wear gloves, and then my hands stink like friggin' dirty whitefish for 3 days.
It's because I got to go on a date later, right? So.
Oh, do you?
No, I don't. Nobody likes me. You kidding?
It's all right. It's okay to be optimistic.
Just trying to make our YouTube fans think I'm cool, but really I'm not. Just a lonely fisherman. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I think we're good there. So from here, then you're just gonna run your knife down it. Cut off this fillet.
Some guys have boards with nails in them, which help hold on to it too. We don't do that though. We're too cheap.
I just buy the extra grippy mechanics gloves.
Oh. Do you try to get it as close as you can to the skin, or do you keep it up a bit to get rid of some of that fat?
I usually try, and I mean it's really hard to do. But yeah, this is this pink stuff is usually the stuff that tastes kind of fishy.
The mud line.
I'm doing a terrible job of it on this one because you can see there's a lot left on this meat. But
I remember the last time I did a fish, I kind of tried to ride up higher, and I almost got all of like that mud line off, but you lose a little bit of your meat on both sides, right?
Yeah. Like a freaking sturgeon, man.
And if you do end up getting into the skin, you'll feel it pretty good on the knife because you'll be back into the scales. I think Kieran's gonna sprain his wrist. So see now, in this last spot here, Kieran got under the skin, so that happens. That happens to the best of us. But basically, you'll feel it when that happens. Sometimes you got to just kind of angle your knife up and then lose a little bit of meat for a second just to get back where you want it to be.
And you can see that's the section of the Y bone. You can see them all in there.
That's pretty good. You didn't lose much meat.
That's because I'm a pro, man. They don't call me the whitefish ninja just because I'm good at catching whitefish. I'm good at cleaning them too. So there we go. That's one fillet down. So I'd wash this up generally and then vacuum seal it from here. And then you got dinner.
Dinner. Winner chicken dinner.
Dinner is served. That one was mint. That one turned out perfect because I wasn't explaining everything the whole time.
Yeah. Now if only somebody bled it right.
Idiot. Miles just loves the taste of blood.
You could also like I've done this before. So you see how there's this mud line? Some people call it the fat. A lot of people trim that out because it does kind of put a queer taste on your fish. Like it makes it taste fishy. If you cut that out, it makes a world of a difference, like flavor wise. But sometimes what I do is I just leave most of it on. I cook the fish, and once the fish is cooked, it basically falls right off. But if you're somebody that doesn't like that kind of weird taste that it puts on it, then you're definitely gonna want to cut it off.
Yeah, we don't really care.
We don't really care, yeah. That's the slogan around here. But anyways, that is how Kieran fillets a whitefish.
It's a bit of a different video for people today.
Yeah.
Not us just like out there cursing, being mad that we're not catching anything and we're constantly getting skunked.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a video like this if we ever catch another one. Might have to bring Mutter out with some minnows.
Yeah. Mutter's not coming out anymore. It's just getting too embarrassing now.
Sorry, Mutter. You have to stay at home out of it now.
Oh, that bag's not big enough.
No.
Idiot.
But anyways, that's it for today's video. That is how Kieran cleans a whitefish.
That's how I do it. Well, just make sure you comment and like and subscribe. Do whatever you want. I throw my glove off.
Don't you dare throw that glove.
Yeah,
at
this
me.
is pretty slimy. So, no throwing any gloves today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we fillet fish. Comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
We don't really care.
We don't care.